Introducing J-Braid Expedition. Featuring a high-pitch weave construction, Daiwa's new J-Braid has a super round profile, aiding in abrasion resistance and angular feel. The use of 8 round strands of raw Isanus material further enhances line durability. Daiwa's new coating PE technology gives Expedition hydrophobic properties to repel water, silt and sediment from penetrating into the braid's weave, increasing durability and longevity. Contaminants entering the braid is one of the main causes of wear and tear. With improved contact with your lure and bite sensitivity, now gives anglers the upper hand when out on the water. J-Braid Expedition makes you be a strong fighter.
So it is ABT live, but not as you know it. This is a special for the Daiwa BREAM Series Grand Final that we're having in just a couple of days down in Lake Macquarie in New South Wales. We've got 30 boaters and 29 non-boaters fighting for some awesome prizes. Boaters, you're fishing for a 498 alloy craft with a 115 Mercury Pro XS on an oceanic trailer, which has got all mag wheels. It's all powder coated, looks Mickey Mouse. It's powered by green marine batteries, and listen to this, it's got 2 10-inch Garmin screens and an LVS 34 live scope on it. Absolutely cracking package, must be worth around $60,000. So one of the lucky boaters after day 3 is going to win it. The non-boaters, you're fishing 2 days, 3 fish a day, fishing for around $4,000 retail worth of tackle. So that's a whole lot of baits and accessories from all of the ABT sponsors and a few Daiwa in-feed outfits with some Daiwa reels on them. So both prizes massive to win. This year is going to be the last year as a non-boater for some of the guys. You're going to hear about that in the show tonight. And we have 4 previous grand final winners in there. Will this be the year when someone wins the grand final for the second time? We'll have to find out after a few days. It's going to be a good event to watch. I'll be doing my live streaming each day, but for the whole field, we'll be using the estimator scoreboards, the same as we used the last year in the grand final, but also the same ones that we use in the Daiwa BREAM Australian Open on Sydney Harbour, so that any stage during the tournament day, you can check out and see how your favourite anglers are going. That estimator scoreboard is actually just the estimated weights of what the anglers think they've caught. The final weigh-in, which happens at 2 o'clock each day, will be the place where they get their actual weights, and that's the thing that the tournament is really decided on. It's a 3-day event in Lake Macquarie. Tonight we're going to talk to some of the guys. We'll talk to Tom Slater from Daiwa, a little bit about the Daiwa sponsorship and the fact that he's not fishing this final. He can give us some tips about what he thinks is going to be fantastic in it. We're going to talk to the incumbent grand final champion, Daiwa sponsored Mark Crompton. He's there in a different boat this year. See if he can channel the karma and make it 2 years in a row. We're going to talk to Scotty Wilson. Scotty is the guy who sneaks into the grand final each year. Last year he came second, and this is on his home waters, so he'll give us some valuable insights. And last but not least, Scott Scicluna, who was the AOY for the non-boaters this year. This is his last event as a nonny. He's going to move up to being a boater next year. Will he be able to cap off a stellar year with a grand final win? We'll find out. Little bit of a tip, this isn't live, this show, we pre-recorded it because right now we are driving south, probably be down around Coffs Harbour, going to set up site for the grand final. It consists of a briefing dinner for everybody where we present the Angler of the Year trophies, the Mercury Cup, a little bit of a summary of what happened during the year, just like the Bass Grand Final. We move into practice day, or practice days before the briefing dinner. Then it's 3 days of competition, boaters and non-boaters. They fish on the Friday and the Saturday, and it's boaters only on the Sunday. With 15 observers on board, we're going to be able to put together some kick-ass packages. So let's go to our first guest tonight, Tommy Slater from Daiwa. It's the Daiwa BREAM series, and here he is, Tom Slater from Daiwa. Tom, you would be sort of the man behind most of the Daiwa tackle that we all use on the Daiwa BREAM series. Is that a stretch of the imagination, or has that got a bit of truth to it?
No, that's correct. It's me and three very capable guys here, John, Tucker and Braden, that help me out. And yeah, we make everything, design it in Australia, and it ends up in the arms of people like yourself and the guys that fish the ABT events, and hopefully put some big fish in the boat. So
I think it's. I think personally, I've been fishing all of the rods and reels all year, and I do remember when you started in feet, you said, "I want to make a range of rods where you don't feel like you have to use anything else." And I think you kind of nailed that, didn't you? And then the ones I sort of didn't really love, now I do love because you tweak them to make them perfect. I think that's a really good illustration of taking on anglers' feedback and seeing what our local techniques are, and then making the product to suit.
yeah, I think it's like we're always learning ourselves, and the techniques and the trends of fishing are changing all the time. So, lures that we weren't throwing, those lures we're throwing now that didn't exist 5 years ago, and they're going to require different outfits, different rods, especially as things like fluorocarbon line become more mainstream. That requires different tapers and stuff. So, it's a ever-changing environment for us. We're always learning, trying different things and trying to improve. And I think that's probably the one thing that I'm the most proud of my team here and the crew that we have at Daiwa, is that we're never happy with just what we've got. As soon as we release something, we're thinking about, okay, how can we make this better for the next one, or what can we do to improve it? So
I think that's an awesome attitude. Daiwa has been the naming sponsor of ABT BREAM for several years now, and in fact, historically, in the mid 2000s, Daiwa was quite big in ABT as well. For the information of the BREAM guys who are watching this and who are fishing the grand final, how much of Daiwa's a tens of millions of dollars turnover company now? How important is BREAM to Daiwa? Is it a little bip, or is it a significant share of the market for you?
no, I think if you looked at it just specifically targeting BREAM, it's probably not overall that massive. But the difference is, I think, when you talk about targeting BREAM to the general public, that also includes catching whiting, catching flathead, catching estuary perch, catching all these species that one of actually the discussions I have with our Japanese colleagues all the time is that Australia is very different to Japan in if they have a fishery in Japan for sea bass or for AU or for mebaru or rockfish or whatever, they have a specific category of product that's just for that species. We're completely different than that. We're very much a multi-species kind of fishery. We could go out on a day in Sydney Harbour and catch probably easily 10 species of fish, probably using the exact same rod, reel, line, lure, everything. So I think when you look at it under the umbrella of light tackle fishing, it's a huge part of the angling market, and I think the tournaments have a way of influencing, especially the top echelon of anglers, which obviously, like yourself, you've got your group of non-tournament fishing mates that then all come to you and say, I'm going to Malakuta on the weekend, I'm going to Sydney Harbour, I'm going to Moreton Bay, what should I be throwing? And then that pool of influence just becomes quite enormous from what is a relatively small group of tournament anglers. The influence is actually quite big. So we're very proud to be the naming rights sponsor of the series and have been obviously for quite a few years, and looking forward to many more years into the future, hopefully.
I think we love working with companies with that attitude, because you are aware that it's an ever-changing beast. And who would have thought when we started back 25 years ago now, when we're all using American panfish plastics and Australian-made hard-bodied lures, that we would evolve to having fully dedicated ranges of rods with fluorocarbon line instead of the old mono like we nearly used to throw all the time. And I could easily have 12 rods on the deck with 12 different techniques, all of which are capable of winning the tournament. I think it's the evolution has been pretty spectacular, and it's good to see now that if I'm a diehard Daiwa guy, I can go out with my in-feet rod, my TD black reel, my Daiwa line, my Daiwa leader, all the Daiwa lures, start to finish. I can support that one company. I think that's something that you started. You didn't encompass that, but now you do it as well as anyone in the whole marketplace.
Yeah, it's definitely been a focus of ours, and it's a focus of mine. I always have used my personal kind of angling to kind of give me a level of guess where we're at in the market, and if I can go to a tournament and not feel disadvantaged through only using Daiwa product, then I know we've got the right stuff for the right areas. If I turn up to an event at Gippsland or on the Gold Coast and I go, I really would love to be throwing something else, that's when I know, okay, there's an opportunity here. We need to look at this category of product. And I can confidently say the last few years, there's very, very few occasions when I'm sitting there going, I wish I had something else.
I reckon that all you need is if you had a bet minnow, a crab, a mussel, and Daiwa underpants, you could be 100% Daiwa. Because you don't do undies, do you?
No, not yet, but maybe, you never know in the future.
Tom, you're not fishing this event. The birth of your first child is impending, and even though it's only 90 minutes up the road, my advice is be there when you need to put the wicketkeeper gloves on. This puts you in a pretty unique position. You would have been fishing this event otherwise. Give us a bit of non-biased commentary on how you think the lake's going to play. We've chopped the bridge out, of course. So, in a year ago, you'd say it's going to be one off the bridge by whoever gets there first and does it the best. But now it's what's it going to encompass? What are you going to need to be able to be good at to take a win at this grand final?
Well, I think Lake Macquarie without the bridge is probably one of the best tournament venues I reckon we've got to choose from. So I think it's going to be a very exciting grand final. I think versatility in Lake Macquarie is huge because there's literally so much different ground to fish. You can blade them out in the deep. You can soft plastic them out in the deep. You can fish boat holes with crankbaits, with plastics, with mussels, with crabs. You can aqua fish off jetties and top water them off the weed beds. You can crank them off muscly flats. There's so much options in Lake Macquarie. So I think it's going to be a really exciting grand final, and whoever wins it will have definitely earned it, especially over doing that over 3 days. It's going to be a real test.
It was interesting in the Bass Grand Final where we introduced that, or we reintroduced that final day cut format. Everyone wants to get into the final day cut, but you can really come from nowhere on the last day, and Lake Macquarie's got the fish in it to possibly do that. If you stumble across a couple of 1.6, 1.7 kilo fish, of which there are plenty of in Lake Macquarie, they're the real difference makers. So yes, I agree. I think we'll be running our estimator scoreboards so that if you're following the event, you can sort of follow it all day long by what the anglers are telling you fork length that they're catching, or the weight that they think that fish is anyway. And we can reaffirm that in a pretty exciting final weigh-in. One of the variables happening this weekend is it looks like it's going to be a bit damp, but in my experience, the rain doesn't really affect the water quality in Lake Mac at all. They need biblical amounts of rain to make it discoloured, but maybe that overcast and slightly windy conditions might help the fish bite, I think.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, I haven't fished Lake Macquarie a whole lot, but when I have been there, any amount of wind is very, very good on Lake Macquarie. You want to be searching for that wind and finding it. Well, how I like to fish anyway, I would be hunting out those windy points and anywhere there's a bit of rough water and searching that out for those big fish up shallow. And you're right, it's no one is out of it on the last day, because you could easily. I'm not sure what Mark Healy weighed in that comp, but I recall it was an astronomical size bag on the last day.
Yeah, and not off the bridge.
6 kilo plus, not from the lake itself. So, I wouldn't be surprised if there's some really big bags caught. The weather in Sydney has just gotten, really nice and hot and warm the last few weeks. The cicadas are out in force. They're buzzing, deafening amounts of buzzing around at the moment. So I think the top water bite should be good. And I'll be jealous I'm not there, but parental duties call.
Tell us how many times a day you're going to be checking the scoreboard estimator.
I'll probably check maybe 10, 20 times.
Like all good BREAM fans, mate, you don't want to miss the action of what's going on. And because we have all those observers on the boat on the third day, like the Bass Grand Final, we'll have some pretty epic highlights, I think, from the wonderful observers and non-boaters that come out on the final day and they pull their phones out of their pocket and give you that, passenger seat experience as to who's catching them. So the final question I want to ask you is, who's your tip for the grand final? If I give you $20 to take to sports bet to put down on someone that's going to win, who are you going to put your money on?
That's a tough one. There's so many capable guys in the field. I wouldn't be surprised if and the bridge in or out, if someone like Jamie McEwen isn't right up there. He's really shown that bridge or no bridge, he knows how to catch them, especially off boats. If boats play, wouldn't be surprised if Jamie's up there. Wouldn't be surprised if you're up there. You're always semi-dangerous whenever you hit the water. But it's literally it's a open slather. You've got the Daiwa guys, Cromo, and those sort of guys that are always dangerous in those flats fisheries as well. If there's a bit of wind,
Euro bite.
If it's one of those plastics, flick them across the surface bite. Wouldn't count out Cromo to go back to back, but and then you got so many good guys. You got guys like Mario Vukic from Victoria, hasn't fished the event the arena very much, but has shown that he can travel anywhere and catch them, Sydney Harbour, Hawkesbury, wherever. So I think this year it's actually wide open. I think there's probably everyone that's qualified deserves to be there, and it'll be a great show.
Let's not overlook the fact that Trump won the US elections and Mario's a big Trump supporter, so he might want to ride that wave into a grand final win.
Quite possibly.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate your time, Tom. Good luck with the if the child pops out during the grand final, you'll have to name him something to do with bream fishing, wouldn't you?
I don't know if I'd get that one past Georgia, but I'll see how I go.
Well, you'll have to go somewhere obscure, but mate, good luck with all of that, and hope you enjoy the coverage of your own namesake event, the grand final, and I'm sure we'll see you there at that event in 2025.
We'll be there. Thanks very much, Steve.
Thanks, Tom. So that was Tommy's take on the grand final this weekend. Who better to talk to next than the current champion, Mark Crompton, also a Daiwa guy. Now, it wouldn't be a pre-grand final show without the incumbent grand final champion, Mark Crompton. Welcome to you and to your embossed garage there to the show, mate, to ABT Live. It's got some pretty cool hardware on the wall there.
Yeah, there's a yeah. There's actually this side there's even more. Yeah, there's quite a lot of stuff, but those ones up over there are the big ticket items for sure. But yeah, the old garage she's shrunk because it just keeps getting loaded up with crap, to be honest.
Mate, you're going to need a 3-bay garage soon because those rods on the ceiling there, you're going to have to, there's probably, 30 or 40 Daiwa combos there.
Yeah, well, I'm yet to load my I haven't rigged anything. I've just rebuilt a boat that I spent the last sort of 3 weeks doing, and I haven't got any gear in it. So all my rods are up there and tackle over there. You can see it's empty. So yeah, got to do a lot of work this afternoon, tomorrow, and this boat actually only just went on the water this morning. I haven't used it yet, so it was a bit of a nervous little trek down to Lake Illawarra to fang it around for a while. So
it's we always have a big saying in ABT that sponsor karma is a thing. Now this is the Daiwa BREAM Series Grand Final with Mercury as our big motor sponsor, giving away the boat with the Mercury on the back. You're a Daiwa sponsored angler in a Mercury powered boat there. It's like you're channeling all the vibes, aren't you?
Yeah, that's for sure. I guess it's one of those things you can't. Well, I mean, we can all do it without sponsors, but the sponsors make things so much smoother and easier for us, don't they? Like the respect that the anglers give to those sponsors, obviously the ones that back us. It's great these days. Everybody seems to come on board and back the sponsors that back the ABT tournament. So I love that. I think that's bloody awesome.
Yep. Last year you dedicated the win to a good mate of ours, Grant Kime. Sorry to hear that your old man passed away recently, mate. It's when I look at the Empire Strikes Back style of people that have recently passed, looking after you and looking over you, mate. That's a pretty strong team you got there now.
Yeah, it's a bit of a tough one, but yeah.
Sorry to make you emotional, mate. I like to try and make you emotional before the big event.
It's mate. To be honest, it'll just be good to go fishing. Yep. I haven't been fishing too much, so it'd be good to get out and just go and clear your head.
Yep. No. Look, it's and you know what? I never met your old man, but I bet you'd be sitting there thinking, Cromo, just go and have fun, mate. Do what you like doing. Because it worked for you last year, didn't it? Last year you went and you did all the sorts of fun fishing in the clearest water, in the awesome parts of Australia. And, everyone was saying, don't worry about all the other shit, mate. It's just all about having fun and go do what you like doing.
Mate, it was weird. Last year, I don't know. I just knew, mate. I've said it a couple of times. Never had a tournament like that. I knew that I was just going to, if not win it, have a bloody blinder. It was just in me. I don't have that for this one. This field, this system, it's very much it can be a lucky dip. The system itself compared to what I was experiencing up there at Mile Lakes. Yeah, I'm definitely not going in with that frame of mindset that I had previously. It's this time it will just be just go fishing, catching up with Michael and his wife. They're staying with us, and Jojo and his partner, and another mate of ours that won the Tweed round out there. Now I've gone brain blank. Justin, sorry, and it'll be good. I'm looking forward to that more than anything. To be brutally honest, I think holidays this time you're coming into Christmas. I'm breaking up pretty much. Week after I'm done. I'm not coming back till February, so it's full holiday mode now, and I'm just looking forward to going fishing, mate. To be honest.
Let's talk a little bit about the arena. It's a massive lake, but it's not sort of lake where you get little bits to yourself. I think it'll all be pretty well utilised by the field. The 30 guys that are in this grand final, none of them are there because they're mugs. Like they will find that fish holding structure, and it's going to be a matter of who manages it best and who finds that little thing off the wall that might be working that not a lot of people are looking at. Might have 250 k's of shoreline, but nowhere to hide.
Yeah, exactly right. I think I don't know whether running and gunning in a system like that is even going to work. You're right. You might just come across a bank that will just have one good fish on it, two good fish on it, and then I don't. I don't hold too many high hopes for success rate in that. I mean, look, I don't know. My history's past in there actually hasn't been too bad. Every year it's been one on the bridge. I think I've come okay, like in the top sort of five or so. You take out those top three there, bang, you're second. The
Yep.
top three are normally from the bridge, so yeah. I mean, yeah, you sort of look at it and you go, well, I've got the runs on the board. Take the bridge out to say I'll be confident with it, but it's just one of those things. I haven't been fishing either, mate. So it's, that's that in itself. Remembering which not for which rig. But yeah, I
You'll be
mental.
right, mate. It's
Yeah, it all comes back pretty quick, doesn't it?
And
Like
the other
riding a
thing
bike.
is, you make that top 15 cut, you're fishing for 3 days as well. So it mightn't just be a rip roaring day get you across the line. You've got to be constant every single one of those 3 days. And we saw it in the Bass Grand Final last month. You had to have good bags every single day to stay up there. You can't really sort of slip up because it's hard to make up ground in an arena where a lot of people are going to be catching between 2.9 and 3.5 kilo bags.
Oh, I don't know about that because the Lake Macquarie is definitely a place where you can come back with 5.5, even 6 kilos. So if you're getting that top 15 for day three, if you're in that top 10, I think with any event that we've done, mate, I've won it from seventh. I've won it from yourself. People come back from a long way back. If you can come in with a cracking bag on day three,
All right.
then you can really come from the baseline to the top end. But yeah, I don't know. That is the beauty of Lake Macquarie. It can be that 2 okay days and then one absolute blinder that will do it. I think 3 consistent days in a row. I don't know that it'll get one like that. I think it'll be someone that just, hopefully it is just someone that gets, a good, lucky, solid bag on one of those days that bolsters the event for them.
Yep.
I don't know. I like it when it's someone left of field that you go, like when Mars won it. That was, Mario's a very, very consistent angler. But when it's up there, he was not on my radar to take that event out at all. And when he did win it, I was like, that's a cracker. Like that was awesome. I'd love to see that for this event as well. So
Yep. Oh, well, in a week's time, we will definitely have the stories to tell of someone who is stoked to have won a $60,000 boat package and is now trying to work out how they're going to get home with the tow bar. Let's talk a little bit about the package. You ran the last year's package and you lent us some cool non-boaters to get them up into the boater ranks. It's a bigger hull this year. They're a 498 hull and they have 115 Pro XSs on the back. This one here we got coming has a full Garmin live scope setup on a force trolley motor. It's got twin Garmin 10-inch head units in there. But you don't need any more Garmins, mate. You already won the raffle for the Aussie team, guys. So maybe you don't need the live scopes.
Yeah, I think I've definitely had a bit of luck this year, like with that. That was a great thing that Garmin did that for the guys. Hopefully they raised some good money to put some cash back in their pockets. I'd like to see that next year for that event. The guys can get a bit more support. And it can be what it's meant to be, a worldwide event where the country can get behind them properly and make sure that they don't have to worry about one more thing like money, So it was awesome to see the sponsors get on there and give them a good kick behind. I like that, but I was I was very thankful to win that little prize. Thank you.
We had nothing to do with it, mate. I actually
I know you don't. I know you don't, but Garmin did, and that's who I'm thinking.
ABT bought $500 worth of tickets to help them out, mate. So it's all good. I think they raised about 15 grand in the end towards towards the cause, which is great because they're all sticking their hands pretty deep in their pocket to do it. One more question I've got for you, and I know it's out of left field now because you haven't even started packing yet. But if you're going to say you win this event, tell me what Daiwa rod and reel combo is going to be your hero when it comes to it. What's going to do it for you?
Mate, I reckon it'll be the 7'6" in feet. I like throwing it with the new Certate line as light as I can run. Normally down around the the 0.06 PE, and then 4 pound to 3 pound leader. And mate, the lure of choice for me is just anything shrimpy. Maybe a bit of surface. The bent minnows go good there. And then, it's not going to be trying to do anything left of field. I'm not going to be. There's been some cracking new lures come on the market. I'm not going to chuck any of them. It'll just be what I know, and not trying to reinvent the wheel. Fish how I normally fish, and just be comfortable knowing that. Hopefully, I can turn over some spots that I've learnt and earnt over the years to be able to find those better fish in, one or two pockets each day.
Well, that's good, mate. It sounds like for someone who's disorganised, you've got your game plan pretty well sorted out. And good idea. You've got runs on the board, doing what you know how to do. Don't muck with it in the biggest event of the year, mate. Thanks very much for your time today to join us on ABT Live, and only a day or two we'll see you down the lake.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely looking forward to catching up with everybody and getting into it. I love the grand final. It's going to be good fun, so be good to catch up.
All right, mate. We'll see you down there.
Cheers, guys. Thanks.
So from the guy that won last year to the guy who came second last year, Scotty Wilson this year was the second last angler in, and nowadays it's hard to get in. He fished 4 events out of a possible 5 and did well in them, so he just snuck in when someone declined their invite. Let's see what Scotty's got to say about the grand final in his home waters. Now, Scott Wilson, I'm not going to call you the luckiest angler in the field, but the fact is for the last 2 years, you've been virtually the last in the door when it comes to qualifying, and both of the arenas have been your sort of home lake. So last year you were this much behind a win at Port Stephens, and now you're in the Lake Macquarie grand final on the other side of your backyard, mate. How does it feel being the man that's just always, turning out the lights as the qualification finishes?
Yeah, it's been great. Been pretty lucky just to sneak in both years. So, haven't been able to get to all the events. I was only able to fish 4 last year and 4 this year. Just had holidays and work in the way. But, under the new format now, the 30-bait field, you really got to either 4 good rounds or at least do the 5. So I've been super lucky to just sneak in there.
Yeah, you've done well enough in your 4 to get in, and normally you've only got in when someone else is unable to get there. So you can thank whoever couldn't make the grand final this year. Guys like Liam Carruthers, I think, moved to Cairns, and there was just a few spots opened up that you waltz right in the door and say thank you very much.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you.
Let's have a little bit of a chat about last year. Last year you qualified sort of last man in, and you went and fished the Myall Lakes. And how many fish did you catch in that grand final? Did you catch 100 fish?
Oh, easily, yeah. They were big days, big fish numbers. It slowed down a bit in the last day, but yeah, there was a lot of fish. It was great up there. And again, that was the grand final I really wanted to get into. I just fished up there a lot. It's a venue I love fishing, and once I seen the grand final, it was going to be up there in that time of year. I knew the Myall Lakes would play, so I really wanted to get up and do that, yeah.
So I was talking to Cromo a little bit earlier, and even though Lake Macquarie is a huge venue, there's nowhere you can really escape from the rest of the field. Like, we all made that run. There was about an hour and a half up into the lakes each way, and it minimised our fishing time, but we had not a lot of pressure there. There's sort of nowhere to hide in Lake Macquarie, is there? It's like everyone knows sort of everything that's going on, and I think even if you wanted to sneak up Dora Creek, you might be able to get away from some people, but the rain might put paid to that. It might dirty it all up. So it might be a who's best in the lake competition.
I'd say so, yeah. It's like you said, it's such a big venue though, and we've only a 30-bait field. Hopefully there's going to be a lot of space. I don't think it's going to be congested anywhere. It should be fairly spread out.
Yep.
But it's 3 days how you're going to manage those spots. So you're probably going to need a fair few to turn over. And like you said, you've got the rain coming this weekend. We probably fishing in rain. So, yeah, those sort of creeks and that feeding into it are probably going to get pretty dirty as well, which probably won't help them at all. So, yeah, a lot of water fishing.
I did a Tackle Fridays video last week, and I said the 3 techniques I reckon might play are crankbaiting boats, top water around the windy edges because the cicadas are all humming now, and the deeper, sneakier reefs. Like Lake Macquarie is full of all these little bits of rock that are maybe in 20 to 30 feet of water, and the guys are getting good enough on their live scopes and active targets now to snipe some fish off of those rocks. So, whether it's all of those techniques play or whether it's one of those techniques plays across all of the lake, it's going to be really interesting to find out. How proficient are you at those 3 techniques? You know how to do all those ones?
Yeah, I'm pretty well on top of them. And like I said, I think you're going to have to probably have a crack at all of them over the weekend. I don't think there's going to be one technique to win it all. Like in the deeper water, like you said, there's plenty of bait there at the moment. Like Lake Macquarie is full of bait, so the guys that try and get on those areas of bait, there's some big fish sitting there. And again, even on the flats, the prawns are up there now. Like you can see them flicking around the edges. We've had a prawn run recently, so yeah, there's going to be some prawns around the edges, and yeah, it's in the boat holes. Like there's that many boat holes. There's always good fish found on them as well. It's probably going to be a mixture of three, depending on the day. There's going to be guys that know when to move and when to change what they're doing. Are going to be the ones to get good fish.
Tell us about that. There was a tagged fish competition down there last weekend or recently, and you said that people were catching the hell out of the good fish. It's fishing pretty well at the moment, the lake.
Yeah, during the pre-fish, like just before the ban, it had been tough. There wasn't a lot of fish caught. You had to really work for them. But yeah, last weekend they had a fishing. There's a tag release program. They done some BREAM and flathead, and there's $25,000 tags on them. So
yep,
the boat was out this last weekend, and yeah, just looking on social media, there's been some great fish caught. There's proper big units being caught this last weekend. So they're around, and yeah, just when you can connect those fish, it's going to be really good.
Again, a unique situation. Both yourself and your old man qualify for the grand final. Is it good to be fishing a grand final with your old man in it?
Yeah, that's right. I've never drawn him yet as a non-boater, so you never know. Might get him there one day, but yeah, he's pretty excited too. I think he's probably more excited than me. He loves it.
Well, he's won the grand final before when it was up on the Gold Coast, wasn't it? He's like, son, I'll tell you how to win one of these things, you know.
That's right. Yeah, I know. I need to get one back on him just so I can have a bit of bragging rights there. So yeah.
It's interesting. Well, in the grand final, the way we do the draws is we don't offset the lists like we normally do. So if you enter with your dad, you definitely don't fish. In this one, you're every chance of out comes Scott Wilson, out comes Cole Wilson. So it'll happen one day, mate, and it'll be everyone will say rigged, and then you'll have a great day with the old man. You know,
I know. I think it'd be good fun, or I'll probably go crazy if you're told to go here and do that and see what happens.
Mate, one final question that I've got for you is, of all of the, I don't know if you've had a look at the field, the guys fishing it, of all those people fishing it, who are you the most scared of? If you were coming first on the last day and there was one guy behind you, who would you be the most scared of?
Well, it's pretty tough. We've got a good field. The guys that have got momentum at the moment, like your Healy's and Cromos, like it's hard to beat momentum. You see them keep rolling. They're going to be at the top of the field, and if they've got the fish, they'll get it done. But probably also, I think you're going to have to. The guys that have spent some time on the lake, but been here for multiple years, you're going to need a lot of spots this event. I think you're going to have to move around a fair bit and try a lot of different things. So the guys with experience are the ones to watch too, I think. Yeah, the old veterans of the sport.
There you go. So the sneaky old, the guys that have got good memories that have been fishing it for 10 years and remember where that gun spot was from 8 years ago, they're the ones you're going to have to watch out for.
Yeah,
I really appreciate your time this afternoon. Well done on doing the 4-event shoe-in the grand final again, mate. You always tend to do well in the grand final. So good luck this weekend, mate, and we'll see if we can give you another boat to work out how to somehow get home.
Great. Look forward to it. Thank you.
Good on you, mate. We'll see you on the weekend.
Thanks. See ya.
And how good is it that Victorian Scotty Scicluna, non-boater AOY, is lending his boat and dragging it up all the way from Victoria from the national kayak champion, Joseph Gardner. He is on fire at the moment. Let's talk to Scotty to see if he thinks his boat's going to have the karma for Joey to get over the line. Victoria's Scott Scicluna, how does 2024 Daiwa BREAM Series non-boater Angler of the Year sound to you?
Pretty happy. Yeah, pretty cool.
Mate, you had a ripping year. Your best 5 events were all top 5s. If you lost from that position, I'd be pretty dirty. Someone would have really had to beat you.
Well, yeah. Well, in the end, I'll just think on top of my head. I think at Gippsland Lakes I come 18th, and then I missed Mallacoota, and then went to Tasmania, and I think finished 3rd at St Helens, and then 5th at Derwent.
Yep.
And then I went to Hawkesbury in 5th again, and then I decided to do the long haul to Blackwood in Western Australia, and ended up coming 2nd to, I call him Zamet, but I think it's Zumbul.
Michael,
So,
Zamet, yes.
or Michael, he won his first event. He said it's his first win in 10 years doing non-boater. So I was pretty happy that he took it out in his home state pretty much. So I was pretty stoked with that. And then went to Tweeds and Richmond, I think, for the double header. And I think I ended up coming 2nd and then a 3rd at Tweed Heads. So, yeah, look.
He's on fire since February.
Tweed Heads has? been?
No, everything that you fished since February, you've just smashed it.
Yeah, look, yeah, it's just pretty happy. You know what I mean? Working behind the boat as a non-boater, you sort of, you know what I mean, you're dictated by where the boater goes, and then you just got to adjust to where, what you cast and what you're casting at, and so I'm pretty stoked. So
you'll scare the boaters when you move up into the boater division, mate. It's like if Stewie Walker decided to come up and fish the front of the boat. But you got a bit of news for us in that regard. Tell us that.
Yeah, look, this grand final will be my last time doing non-boater, so coming up. So yeah, and then I'm going as a boater next year. So whatever happens next year, I'm not really expecting much, but yeah, just going to step up to against everyone else. So yeah, it'll be cool.
You'll be one of the rare Victorians that knows their way out of the state with the boat on the back of the trailer.
Yeah, I don't mind traveling. I've always travelled a lot for my work kind of thing, so it doesn't really worry me about travelling kind of thing. So yeah, like I said, I'm shooting up to Lake Macquarie with my boat. So yeah, and then it's a Joey Gardner. So good luck to him using my boat.
Any luck he'll leave some mojo in it, because everything Joey touches at the moment turns into wins. I think for him, he won the kayak AOY and the grand final double header. So watch out for Jojo on Lake Macquarie, because he's a mojo angler and a mojo boat.
Yes, he's I think he's pretty excited about it. Like, I sent photos to him the other week, and he goes, "Oh yeah, cool." So I think he's up and about, ready to jump on board. So he'll be doing pre-fish there Thursday and he'll get used to it hopefully and see how he goes. So yeah,
I just think he'll be happy he doesn't have to pedal that thing across the lake. He can just hit the go button and away he goes. None of this, none of this cycling stuff.
No, that's it. Yes.
Mate, you're fishing the non-boater division, and let's just refresh for the viewers tonight just exactly what that entails. It entails fishing the first 2 days of the tournament. So we have 30 boaters, I think 29 non-boaters we've got signed up, just one in case we have a breakdown or anything. So 29 nonnies. And your best 3 fish a day for 2 days. So you only get 6 fish to win the grand final. For you guys, it's all about catching those 30-centimetre 4+ kickers, isn't it? That's what you got to do. You don't have to catch 5 of them. You only got to catch 3, and they've got to be the right size.
Oh, exactly right. Like in the end, my goal is look. I think everyone's non-boater's goal is for the grand final to catch big bream. But like I said, I'm pretty excited. Just if I get 3 each day, and wherever it takes me, it takes me. You know what I mean? Catching it. You know what I mean? Getting some good non-boaters. You know what I mean? I think Jesse Roten's fishing it, and then you got Lance Marsh. He's he's been going for a long time, I think, and then Joey McKenzie and all that. You know what I mean? And then I think Zamet, he's coming down from West Australia, so he's going to be pretty hard to beat too. So looking at it, so yeah.
When you look at the grand final qualification list, you didn't get there by being a mug. You got there by being able to catch fish, and that lake style format is very non-boater friendly. I think we've got you can catch fish 360 degrees in that area.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Lake Macquarie is a big joint, so I'm pretty excited. I haven't been there. I think we didn't go there last year. I think we did. Yeah. I think, so, I enjoyed it. It's pretty big. It's pretty surreal. So, yeah, pretty cool.
Let's go through your expectations for the event. Like, there's a lot of different sorts of fishing in Lake Mac, from 1 foot of water to 30 foot of water. What do you think is going to play for the non-boaters? What's going to be the strongest technique?
I think, look, the way I look at it depends where you're going and who you're going with. Of course, that's the first thing. Do you know what I mean? Look, if a boater, and you're finishing in the top 30 in Australia, kind of thing in the ABT, you know what you're doing as a boater. That's the way I look at it. So you are going to be linked with a boater who knows where he's going, what he's doing. But it might come down to pre-fish or what they're going to do. I think hulls might come involved a bit at times, I reckon. But who knows? There is a lot of flats there as well. So yeah. So there's a lot of flats out Lake Macquarie. So who knows? You know what I mean? I think whoever does pre-fish, sometimes like in the NI, I'll look at it like pre-fish princesses there. I'd rather not catch many pre-fish. I'd rather try and catch them.
How many pre-fish princess badges you win this year? A couple?
I've got a couple. Yeah, and I'll probably keep my mouth shut a couple more. So I just didn't want to.
So Maybe
stay.
don't fish with no hooks or something on Thursday.
Yeah, well, that's it. So yeah, but look, yeah, man. I think the bridge is out of the question this year. What I'm hearing. So, but look, they're all good bloody fishermen. So I just think, yeah, as a non-boater, you just got to adjust to where they're going and
Yep.
holes. It could be flats. It could be deep. You know what I mean? Who knows? You know what I mean? I think what I heard a couple weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, there's a lot of weed around. What I heard. So, but in the end, who knows? It's a big system.
You've shown
Yeah,
you've got the
yeah.
versatility to get yourself there, so I'm sure you're going to have the versatility to catch a couple of bream when you're there. Then whatever happens. I think it's awesome that you're lending your boat to a West Aussie. I think there's some great camaraderie between the East Coasters and the West Aussies. Just to you make these networks and they help you over West. We help them over East. I think it's a bit of the who shares wins rubbing off each way there. So hopefully that mojo rubs off for you, mate. We're going to present you with your trophy on the briefing night. We're all getting together, having our good briefing dinner again, and you'll have yourself a bit of hardware for the trophy room, mate.
Oh yeah, look forward to that. Put them in the pool room, as they say. Yeah, look, I've worked hard for it. A lot of mileage. But a big shout out goes to those West Australia boys. You know what I mean? Cole State. You know what I mean? He's the one who picked me up from the airport and took me down to Blackwood. You know what I mean? Joey and Alex as well, who sort of gave you a bit of a rest from running the show. You know what I mean? Like in the end, it was just pretty cool. Like most of the West Australia blokes down there, like it was pretty inviting. You know what I mean? If anyone was thinking about doing it next, I don't know. Is there any rounds next year there? I don't. Is there?
One.
I don't.
Qualifier in WA. So and it'll be somewhere cool like Blackwood or somewhere like that. So for us East Coasters, rivers like that are fantastic. Not a lot of tidal movement, but man, is there some structure and some fish in that joint?
Oh, yeah, there's definitely look this year. Like plenty of fish got caught. You know, what I mean, you don't get the standard I mean. Down at Gippsland, where you get a 40 forker and all that, you get like the 32s and 31s.
You're spoiled.
Yeah,
Don't worry about those ones. But
it's amazing.
They're a great fishery to experience, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
well, mate, congratulations on your year. Thanks for a bit of insight into the grand final. Thanks for loaning your boat out and dragging it all the way up for Joey to fish out. And next time we see you, we'll be at the briefing where we do a dinner, and you'll be getting yourself a trophy, mate. So thanks for joining us on ABT Live.
Thank you for having me, and look forward to catching up with everyone in the next couple of days. So it'll be pretty cool. So yeah,
awesome. Well, that's it for tonight. There's no prizes. Sorry, all the prizes are going to be given away at the grand final. Remember, all of the information hubbed on abt.org.au. That's where the live scoreboards are going to be, the estimated scoreboards, the weigh-ins are going to be. Nicole will embed the weigh-in window there. You can also subscribe to ABT Tournament's YouTube channel if you want to get notified of that. It's all going to be happening. My live streams are on my Steve Morgan YouTube channel. Go and check that out if you want to watch endless amounts of fishing rather than Test cricket. We were going to catch it. We're going to check out now. We'll be driving right now. We'll see you at Lake Macquarie for some awesome coverage.